Have you ever noticed how certain numbers seem to appear wherever you look? Maybe you catch the clock at 11:11 day after day, or spot the same sequence on license plates, receipts, and phone numbers, almost as if the universe is nudging you, trying to get your attention. These aren't just random coincidences. What if I told you these recurring numbers carry profound spiritual messages meant just for you? This is the mysterious and beautiful world of angel numbers and divine synchronicity, a language of the cosmos that has guided seekers, mystics, and everyday people toward deeper awareness and purpose for centuries. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, invisible network of meaning, where every number you encounter is a whisper from something greater than yourself, a signpost on your soul's journey. This isn't about superstition or simple pattern recognition. It's about awakening to a reality where the spiritual and material worlds intersect in moments of breathtaking clarity. These sequences, whether 111, 333, or 727, are like coded love letters from the divine, inviting you to unlock hidden layers of understanding about your path, your relationships, and your deepest calling. In this video, we're going to explore the full story behind angel numbers and the powerful phenomenon of synchronicity that makes them so much more than chance. You'll discover how to interpret these signals, why they appear at pivotal moments in your life, and how embracing their guidance can transform your spiritual practice and everyday reality. This is a journey into meaning, mystery, and connection, one that has resonated across cultures and spiritual traditions, revealing that we are all part of a beautifully orchestrated cosmic dance. So if you've ever felt curious, comforted, or mystified by the numbers that find their way to you, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. So what exactly are these angel numbers? At their core, angel numbers are specific sequences of digits that carry a vibrational frequency and a symbolic meaning far beyond their mathematical value. Think of them not as random figures on a page, but as deliberate signals, a kind of spiritual Morse code sent to guide, reassure, and awaken us. When you repeatedly notice the same pattern, like 111 on a receipt, 444 on a license plate, or 555 on a digital clock, you're likely encountering an angel number. This phenomenon is deeply rooted in numerology, the ancient study of the mystical relationship between numbers and life events, but it's presented in a way that's accessible and personal to each of us. The key element that sets an angel number apart from an ordinary number is the unmistakable feeling of synchronicity, that eerie yet comforting sense that this is more than a coincidence. It's the universe's way of cutting through the noise of our daily routines to deliver a personalized message. While any number can theoretically carry meaning, angel numbers are almost always repetitive sequences, like triple or quadruple digits, or highly significant master numbers like 1111. They capture our attention because they break the pattern of the everyday. Our subconscious mind, attuned to symmetry and repetition, picks up on these anomalies and signals our conscious awareness to take note. These messages are widely believed to originate from benevolent, higher dimensional beings, whether you call them angels, spirit guides, ancestors, or simply the universe itself. The term angel numbers comes from the idea that angels, as divine messengers, cannot easily communicate with us through direct speech, so they use the subtle yet universal language of numbers. It's a gentle nudge, a wink from the cosmos, designed to offer insight into our current life circumstances, warn us of upcoming challenges, or confirm that we are exactly where we need to be on our path. This isn't about predicting lottery numbers. It's about receiving spiritual counsel tailored to your personal growth and journey. To truly understand why numbers carry such profound meaning, we have to travel back in time, way back, to the very foundations of Western thought. While the term angel numbers is modern, the concept is ancient, rooted in the timeless belief that numbers are far more than simple tools for counting. They were seen by many early cultures as the fundamental building blocks of the universe, the sacred language through which the divine architect expressed creation itself. This idea finds one of its most powerful and systematic expressions in the work of a Greek philosopher and mystic from the 6th century BCE, Pythagoras. You might remember Pythagoras from math class and his famous theorem about triangles, but his contributions to philosophy and spirituality were, in many ways, even more revolutionary. Pythagoras and his followers, the Pythagoreans, believed that everything in existence, from the orbits of planets to the harmony of music to the nature of the human soul, could be understood through numbers and mathematical ratios. For them, the cosmos was literally made of number, each digit from 1 through 9, along with master numbers like 11 and 22, possessed a unique vibrational frequency and a sacred, unchanging meaning. They saw these numbers as archetypes, primordial patterns that shaped reality itself. This wasn't just abstract theory. It was a spiritual system for understanding the order and meaning of life. This world, you didn't emerge from a vacuum. Pythagorean thought was deeply influenced by even older traditions. Centuries earlier, the ancient Babylonians developed complex numerological systems, believing that numbers held divine secrets that could predict events and reveal the will of the gods. Similarly, in Egypt, numbers were woven into the very fabric of their spirituality and architecture. The precise dimensions of the pyramids, for instance, are not random. They are believed to encode sacred mathematical principles and astronomical knowledge, serving as a bridge between the earthly and the divine. In these cultures, priests and scholars were often mathematicians, using numbers as a tool for divine communication, much like how we might interpret angel numbers today. So, how does 2,500-year-old philosophy connect to you seeing 333 on your coffee receipt? The Pythagorean concept of vibrational frequency is the crucial link. They taught that each number emits a specific energy, a kind of spiritual tone. When you repeatedly encounter a number sequence, your soul is resonating with its particular frequency. It's a harmonic alignment. The number isn't just a symbol, it's an active, energetic force that carries a message tailored to that vibrational state. This ancient idea directly informs how we interpret angel numbers now, not as random digits, but as resonant frequencies from the universe, designed to get our attention and guide us toward greater harmony and understanding. This profound idea that numbers carry divine meaning didn't just stay within the realm of ancient philosophy. It became a cornerstone of the world's major religions, providing a rich, symbolic language that has endured for millennia. If we look at the Bible, for instance, we find that numbers are used not merely for counting, but as deeply layered symbols that convey theological truths and spiritual principles. The number 7 stands out as a powerful example, representing divine completion and perfection. It's woven throughout the creation story, where God rested on the seventh day, sanctifying it. We see it in the 7 pairs of clean animals brought onto Noah's Ark, the 7 times Joshua marched around Jericho, and the 7 churches, 7 seals, and 7 trumpets in the book of Revelation. This repetition isn't a coincidence. It's a deliberate design, embedding the vibration of completion and God's finished work into the very fabric of the Scripture. Similarly, the number 12 emerges as a symbol of governmental order and divine authority. There were 12 tribes of Israel, establishing the foundation of a holy nation. Jesus chose 12 apostles, forming the core leadership of the new covenant, and in the vision of the New Jerusalem, the city has 12 gates guarded by 12 angels and 12 foundation stones, representing a perfect and complete divine order. Then there's the number 40, a number almost universally associated with a period of testing, trial, and subsequent transformation. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights during the Great Flood. The Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years. Moses spent 40 days on Mount Sinai, and Jesus fasted and was tempted in the wilderness for 40 days. Each instance marks a profound period of transition, where a trial leads to a fundamental shift or renewal. These scriptural patterns created a powerful framework that taught generations to look for meaning in numerical patterns, to see numbers as a language God uses to communicate with humanity. This wasn't about random superstition. It was about discerning a hidden layer of divine intention. Early Christian scholars, particularly those in the Jewish mystical tradition of Kabbalah, further developed this into a practice known as gematria, where letters have numerical values, and words or phrases that share the same numerical value are believed to have a deep, interconnected meaning. This practice sought to uncover hidden messages and deeper layers of truth within the sacred texts, solidifying the idea that numbers are a key to unlocking spiritual mysteries. This biblical and religious foundation is absolutely essential to understanding modern angel numbers. When you feel a spark of recognition upon seeing 1, 2, 3, it's not happening in a vacuum. You are tapping into a thousands of years old tradition that has trained the human spirit to perceive the divine in the mathematical order of the universe. The reverence for 7 as a sign of spiritual perfection, for 12 as divine order, and for 40 as a transformative journey subconsciously primes us to accept that 333 could mean ascended master guidance, or that 444 signifies the presence of angels. These ancient meanings provide the archetypal bedrock, the original dictionary, if you will, for the personal messages we receive today. It connects your personal, intimate experience of seeing a number on a license plate to a vast, historical stream of spiritual seekers who have always believed that the universe speaks in a numerical code. While these ancient religious and philosophical systems laid the groundwork, our modern understanding of how these meaningful coincidences actually work owes a great deal to the pioneering work of a 20th century psychologist, Carl Jung. It was Jung who gave us a powerful and enduring name for the experience of seeing 1111 everywhere right when you're thinking about a major life change. He called it synchronicity. Jung defined synchronicity as a causal connecting principle, a meaningful coincidence that links an inner psychological state with an event in the external world in a way that can't be explained by cause and effect. It's not that your thought caused the number to appear, or that the number caused your thought. Instead, they happen together, dancing in a harmonious moment that carries profound significance for you. Jung arrived at this concept after observing this pattern repeatedly in his own life and in the lives of his patients. He recounted one famous example where a patient was describing a dream about a golden scarab beetle, a potent ancient symbol of rebirth. At that very moment, Jung heard a gentle tapping at his office window. He turned to find a rose chafer beetle, a close relative of the scarab, trying to get inside. This external event, completely unrelated by cause to the internal dream, provided a powerful moment of meaning that helped break through the patient's intellectual defenses and catalyze her healing. The inner world of the dream and the outer world of the beetle collided in a way that was undeniably meaningful, even though it made no logical sense. This is the essence of synchronicity. This psychological framework is the perfect lens through which to understand the phenomenon of angel numbers. When you are inwardly wrestling with a decision about your career and suddenly see the sequence 888 on a billboard, that's not a random event. According to Jung's model, your internal state of contemplation and ambition has synced up with an external symbol, in this case, a number associated with abundance and infinite flow. The universe isn't sending you a billboard ad. It's reflecting your own internal energy back at you, using the language of numbers to confirm you're on the right track. The number sequence and your psychological state are connected by meaning, not by cause. They are two expressions of the same underlying pattern emerging in your life at that precise moment. Jung believed these synchronistic events were most likely to occur during periods of significant personal transformation, when we are open to guidance and our unconscious mind is more active and closer to the surface. This is precisely why people often report seeing powerful number sequences during times of crisis, deep questioning, or spiritual awakening. Your psyche, yearning for direction and meaning, reaches a state where it can tune into these causal connections, making the invisible threads that bind the inner and outer worlds suddenly visible. It's as if the universe has a way of highlighting what's already vibrating within you. So, when you experience an angel number, you're participating in a beautiful, interactive dance between your soul and the cosmos. You are not a passive recipient of a message from an external angelic postman. You are an active co-creator in the event. Your heightened awareness, your emotional state, and your openness are all essential ingredients that allow the synchronicity to manifest. The number appears because you are ready to see it, and because it resonates with what is happening inside you. This empowers you, placing you at the center of the experience as an intuitive, meaning-making participant in your own spiritual journey, rather than a passive bystander waiting for a sign. These messages from the universe have a fascinating habit of showing up in the most mundane and ordinary corners of our daily routines. It's rarely through a booming voice or a flash of light. Instead, the communication is subtle, woven into the fabric of everyday life, which makes it feel all the more personal and intimate. The most common stage for this phenomenon is the digital clock. How many times have you glanced up, almost by instinct, to see the time display as 11:11, or 2:22, or 4:44? It happens too often to be mere chance. You might be in the middle of a stressful workday, lost in thought, and that simple glance at the clock becomes a moment of pause, a gentle reminder that you are part of a larger, more meaningful flow. But the universe's creativity doesn't stop there. These numerical sequences find us on license plates during our morning commute, perhaps just as we're pondering a difficult decision. They appear as the total on a grocery receipt, a phone number from a new contact, or the address of a building we're suddenly drawn to walk past. You might be watching a movie and notice a character's apartment number is 707, or a significant date in a book might jump off the page. The medium is irrelevant. What matters is the unmistakable feeling that accompanies the sighting. It's a jolt of recognition, a sudden pull of your attention away from the noise and into a moment of perfect clarity. There's a warmth, a sense of awe, and a quiet knowing that this is a sign meant specifically for you in that exact moment. This feeling of resonance is the true hallmark of an authentic angel number encounter. It's not just about seeing a pattern, it's about feeling it. The number sequence aligns with your inner state, echoing a question you've been asking, a fear you've been confronting, or a hope you've been nurturing. This emotional and intuitive response is your compass. It's the difference between mechanically noting a repeated number and experiencing a profound moment of connection that leaves you feeling comforted, guided, or curiously energized. The context is everything. Seeing 555 on a clock while you're anxious about an upcoming change feels radically different than idly noticing it in a line of text. The message lands because your soul is primed and ready to receive it, turning an ordinary observation into an extraordinary moment of divine synchronicity. Now, let's explore a crucial aspect of this phenomenon. Why do these messages so often come in the form of repeating sequences like 111, 444, or 777? It isn't just a stylistic choice. It's deeply rooted in both the wiring of our own brains and the fundamental principles of spiritual communication. Think about it. A single digit on its own can easily be dismissed as random. But when you see the same 3 or 4 digits in a perfect row, it breaks the normal pattern of your day. It creates a moment of cognitive dissonance that your brain can't ignore, forcing you to sit up and take notice. This is the universe's way of turning up the volume, ensuring its whisper cuts through the static of your everyday life. Our minds are biologically hardwired for pattern recognition. It's an ancient survival mechanism our ancestors needed to quickly identify patterns in nature, the tracks of a predator, the changing of the seasons, the behavior of prey to stay alive. This innate skill is so powerful that we often see patterns even where none exist, a tendency known as epiphania. But in the realm of angel numbers, this isn't a malfunction, it's a feature. Your brain's pattern-seeking radar is precisely what the spiritual realm uses to get a message through. A repeating number sequence acts like a spiritual flare gun, a bright, unmistakable signal designed to capture your attention precisely because it's so unusual and orderly. It bypasses your critical, analytical mind and speaks directly to your intuition. From a spiritual perspective, repetition signifies emphasis, urgency, and importance. If a guide or angelic presence has a critical message for you, they aren't going to send it just once and hope you catch it. They will place that same sequence in your path again and again, across different mediums, until you finally acknowledge it. Each repetition is like a gentle tap on the shoulder that grows progressively more insistent. Seeing 111 on your clock one day might be intriguing. Seeing it again on a license plate, a receipt, and a page number all in the same afternoon transforms it from a curiosity into an undeniable nudge. The repetition itself is the proof of its significance. It confirms that you are not imagining things and that this message is specifically and intentionally for you. The power of these sequences is also deeply numerological. A single digit carries a certain vibrational energy, but when that digit is tripled or quadrupled, its power is magnified exponentially. It's the difference between a single musical note and a powerful, resonant chord. The number 3, for instance, often relates to creativity, growth, and the expression of joy. But when you see 333, that energy isn't just suggested, it's amplified into a roar. It becomes an urgent call to align your thoughts with your highest creative potential and to embrace the support of the ascended masters. The repetition acts as a spiritual amplifier, taking a core theme and making it impossible to ignore. This is why the most commonly reported and potent angel numbers are these masterful repetitions. They create a harmonic resonance that is far easier for our spirits to tune into. A sequence like 555 doesn't just hint at change, it shouts about a monumental shift occurring in every area of your life. 444 doesn't softly suggest protection. It firmly plants a flag of divine security and stability around you. The pattern itself becomes a container for a more intense and focused energy, making the message clearer, stronger, and far more impactful than a single ever could be. It's the universe's method of underlining its most important memos. Understanding the core vibrational meaning of each digit from 0 to 9 is like learning the alphabet before you can form words and sentences. These single digits are the essential building blocks, the pure archetypal energies that combine and amplify in sequences to create more complex and personalized messages. Let's start with the number 0. 0 represents the universal source, the divine, the infinite potential from which all things emerge and to which all things return. It is the void before creation, the cosmic egg, and the symbol of eternity with no beginning and no end. When 0 appears, even embedded within a longer sequence, it magnifies the energies of the numbers around it and reminds you of your own spiritual nature and connection to the oneness of all existence. It's a call to develop your spiritual gifts and trust in the endless cycles of the universe. Moving to the number 1, we encounter the energy of raw creation and new beginnings. 1 is the spark of inspiration, the assertive force of the pioneer, and the confidence to start a new path entirely from scratch. It vibrates with independence, ambition, and the power of our thoughts and intentions to manifest reality. When you consistently see the number 1, the universe is encouraging you to step into your own power, to lead rather than follow, and to have the courage to initiate that project or idea you've been contemplating. It's a powerful affirmation that you are on the right track to creating a reality that is uniquely your own. The number 2 introduces the vibration of partnership, duality, and divine balance. After the assertive energy of 1, 2 reminds us that we do not walk our path alone. It is the number of diplomacy, cooperation, patience, and faith. 2 encourages us to find harmony in our relationships, to seek peace over conflict, and to trust that we are always supported by the universe, even when we can't see the full picture. This number often appears as a gentle nudge to have faith in the divine timing of your life, to be patient as your plans unfold, and to nurture the important connections that bring joy and stability to your world. With the number 3, we step into the vibrant energy of creative expression, joy, and expansion. 3 is often called the number of the Trinity: mind, body, spirit, past, present, future, birth, life, death, representing a complete cycle of growth. It resonates with optimism, creativity, communication, and the energy of the ascended masters who guide us toward our highest potential. Seeing this number is a delightful message to embrace your authentic self, to express your creativity freely, and to infuse your life with more joy and social connection. It's a confirmation that your creative efforts are supported and that positive expansion is on its way. The number 4 brings the grounding, practical energy of stability, foundation, and hard work. It is the vibration of the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water, and the 4 cardinal directions, creating a stable square of reliable energy. 4 relates to building solid foundations for the future, dedication to your goals, integrity, and the presence of the angels surrounding you with love and protection. When this number appears, it's a sign to get organized, to put in the consistent effort required to achieve your long-term dreams, and to trust that you are on a stable path, securely supported by the universe every step of the way. The number 5 is the vibration of dynamic change, freedom, and adventure. It represents the 5 senses and encourages us to experience the world fully. 5 is all about major life changes, making important choices, learning lessons through experience, and embracing personal freedom. Its appearance signals that significant shifts are occurring or are about to occur. This can feel unsettling, but the message is to release fear, adapt to new circumstances with grace, and view these changes as necessary steps for your growth and expansion. It's a call to break free from restrictions and live life with more curiosity and courage. The number 6 vibrates with the energy of unconditional love, nurturing, and responsibility. It is the number of the heart chakra, focusing on family, home, harmony, and service to others. 6 calls us to find a balance between our material responsibilities and our spiritual needs, to heal relationships, and to create a peaceful and loving environment. When you see this number, the message is often about compassion, both giving it to others and, just as importantly, extending it to yourself. It may be a prompt to resolve domestic issues or to step into a role of caretaking and emotional support with grace and love. The number 7 is the deeply spiritual seeker, the mystic, and the philosopher. It vibrates with the energy of inner wisdom and intuition and a quest for deeper truth. 7 is associated with spiritual awakening, divine knowledge, and the development of psychic and intuitive abilities. Its appearance is a powerful sign that you are on the right spiritual path and are being encouraged to spend more time in introspection, meditation, and study. It's a confirmation that you are uncovering hidden truths and that your inner guidance system is strong and accurate. this number invites you to trust your inner voice above all else. The number 8 carries the potent vibration of abundance, authority, and karma. Its shape, the infinity symbol turned upright, represents the continuous flow of energy, power, and financial prosperity. 8 is the number of manifesting wealth in all forms, personal authority, and the concept of cause and effect. What you put out into the world, you will receive back. Seeing this number is a strong indicator that a phase of abundance and achievement is near, but it also reminds you to manage your resources wisely and to act with integrity, as the energy you emit is what will be returned to you magnified. Finally, the number 9 represents completion, endings, and humanitarianism. It is the number of wisdom and conclusion, marking the end of a significant cycle or phase in your life. 9 carries a higher, selfless vibration, urging us to let go of what no longer serves us so that we can step into a new chapter aligned with our soul's purpose and a desire to serve the greater good. Its appearance is a message of compassionate closure, encouraging forgiveness, both for ourselves and others, and reminding us that every ending creates the space for a powerful new beginning infused with greater wisdom and compassion. While the digits 0 through 9 form the essential vocabulary of this numerical language, there exists a special class of sequences, known as master numbers, that carry an exponentially higher vibrational charge. These are the double-digit numbers 11, 22, and 33, and encountering them is like receiving a spiritual priority message directly from the source. They are not reduced to a single digit in numerology because their power is considered too great, too potent to be simplified. They represent a pinnacle of spiritual potential, a calling to step into a higher version of yourself and manifest profound change not just in your own life, but in the world around you. Let's begin with the master number 11, often called the illuminator or the psychic messenger. If you look at its components, 1 plus 1 equals 2, but 11 is so much more than 2. It holds the visionary, initiating power of the number 1, but doubled, creating a gateway or an antenna for high-frequency spiritual information. 11 is the number of intuition, spiritual insight, and awakening. It's that first lightning bolt of awareness that jolts you out of a mundane existence and asks you to question the deeper nature of reality. When this master number appears, it's a direct invitation to tune into your inner voice, to trust those gut feelings and precognitive hunches that you might normally dismiss. It's a sign that you are being called to be a light for others, to illuminate truths and inspire those around you through your own spiritual journey. However, this high voltage comes with a challenge. The energy of 11 can also bring anxiety, a sense of being overly sensitive, or a feeling of being out of step with the world. Its appearance is a reassurance that these feelings are part of the process. You are simply adjusting to a higher, more refined frequency of awareness. Next, we have the Master Builder, 22. This number carries the practical, foundational energy of the number 4, as 2 plus 2 equals 4, but it's amplified to a monumental scale. Where 11 is the visionary with the grand idea, 22 is the master architect who knows exactly how to bring that dream down to earth and build it in the physical realm. It is the most powerful number for material manifestation. 22 combines the intuition of 11 with the pragmatic, hard-working energy of 4, creating a potent force for turning inspired thoughts into tangible structures, systems, and institutions that benefit humanity. Seeing this number is a massive vote of confidence from the universe. It means you have the innate ability to achieve the seemingly impossible. You are being encouraged to think big, to dream on a global scale, and to use your skills to create something of lasting value and stability. The shadow side of 22 is the potential for becoming overwhelmed by the sheer scale of your ambitions, or becoming overly focused on the material world at the expense of your spiritual essence. Its message is a call to balance your lofty dreams with grounded action, assuring you that you possess the masterful capability to make them real. Finally, we arrive at the Master Teacher, 33. This is the most evolved and compassionate of the master numbers, often referred to as the number of Christ consciousness or unconditional love. While 3 plus 3 equals 6, the energy of 33 transcends the nurturing, heart-centered focus of 6 and expands it into a selfless, all-encompassing love for humanity. This number represents the pinnacle of spiritual service, healing, and guidance. It is the vibration of the ascended master, the individual who uses their profound wisdom and empathy to uplift, teach, and heal others without any desire for personal reward. When 33 appears in your life, it is a profound calling to step into a role of leadership through compassion. It asks you to use your gifts, whether they are in healing, teaching, art, or simply offering profound empathy to alleviate suffering and bring joy to others. This is not a small task. It is a life path of service. The challenge of 33 is to avoid the pitfalls of martyrdom or compassion fatigue. It reminds you that to be an effective master teacher, you must also practice extreme self-love and set healthy boundaries, ensuring your own well-being so you can continue to be a vessel of light for the world. Now that we understand the foundational digits and the immense power of the master numbers, let's bring this knowledge to life by diving into 3 of the most common and potent triple sequences you're likely to encounter. These are the numbers that stop us in our tracks, the ones that seem to glow with a special significance. They take the core energy of a single digit and amplify it into a clear, unmistakable message tailored to our immediate circumstances. Let's start with 111. If you've ever seen this sequence repeatedly, you've likely felt a surge of both excitement and urgency. 111 is the universe's megaphone for manifestation. It is a powerful signal that your thoughts are aligning with reality at an accelerated pace. The energy of new beginnings and leadership from the number 1 isn't just present, it's tripled, creating a potent vortex of creative potential. This sequence is a direct message from your guides that the gateway between your mind and the material world is wide open. Every thought, every word, every intention you hold right now is being beamed out into the cosmos with incredible force, shaping what comes next. It's a call to extreme mindfulness. Are you focusing on your fears or your dreams? Are you dwelling on lack or affirming abundance? 111 appears as an urgent reminder to vigilantly guard your mental diet, because you are quite literally constructing your future in that very moment. A friend of mine began seeing 111 everywhere during a period of intense career uncertainty. Instead of succumbing to anxiety, she took it as a cue to consciously focus her thoughts on her ideal job, visualizing the work environment, the feeling of fulfillment, even the salary. Within a month, she was unexpectedly offered a position that matched her visualizations almost exactly. 111 doesn't just hint that you're a creator, it shouts that you are creating right now, so make it count. Next, we have the beautifully calming and reassuring sequence of 222. After the high voltage of 111, 222 arrives like a deep, soothing breath. This is the number of alignment, harmony, and divine timing. It carries the energy of partnership and faith, but amplified into a profound sense of peace and trust. When you see 222, it is a message that you are in the flow. The pieces of your puzzle are moving into place, even if you can't yet see the full picture. It's a sign to have patience, to release the need to force outcomes, and to trust that you are being guided and supported by the universe. This sequence often appears when we are feeling impatient, frustrated, or anxious about a relationship or a goal that seems stalled. It's the universe's way of putting a gentle hand on your shoulder and whispering, "Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Keep the faith." I recall a viewer who wrote in about seeing 222 constantly during a difficult waiting period to finalize an adoption. Each sighting became a touchstone, a moment to pause and reaffirm her belief that the process was being orchestrated for the highest good of everyone involved. It didn't speed up the paperwork, but it transformed her experience of the wait from one of stress to one of serene confidence. 222 is the embodiment of the promise that all things work together in divine right timing. Then there's the vibrant and uplifting energy of 333. This sequence is like a burst of joyful sunlight breaking through the clouds. It is deeply connected to the energy of the ascended masters, highly evolved spiritual beings like Jesus, Buddha, Kuan Yin, and others who have walked the earth and now offer their guidance from the other side. 333 is a direct line to this loving support system. It is a message that you are surrounded, loved, and assisted by these benevolent beings who want to help you express your creativity, embrace your joy, and grow on your spiritual path. This number is a powerful encouragement to use your natural talents and abilities to uplift yourself and others. It's a call to communicate your truth, to engage with the world from a place of optimism, and to know that you have a full spiritual support team cheering you on. A common anecdote involves people seeing 333 when they are doubting their creative abilities or feeling stuck in a rut. One artist shared that this sequence began appearing on street signs and receipts just as she was considering giving up painting. She interpreted it not as a coincidence, but as a direct nudge from the masters to pick up her brush again. The very next day, she experienced a breakthrough in her work, feeling an inspired flow she hadn't felt in years. 333 is a celebration of your divine creativity and a confirmation that you are never, ever walking your path alone. Now let's move into two of the most powerful and transformative sequences you might encounter on your journey: 444 and 555. These numbers represent two fundamental poles of the human experience: the need for grounded stability and the inevitability of profound change. Understanding their distinct messages is crucial for navigating life cycles with grace and awareness. The appearance of 444 is like feeling a strong, steady hand on your shoulder during a moment of fear or uncertainty. This sequence vibrates with the immensely reassuring energy of angelic protection and presence. Remember, the number 4 itself is the number of the stable foundation, the 4 cardinal directions, and the 4 elements coming into perfect balance. When it appears tripled, that energy isn't just suggested, it is magnified into a tangible force field of divine support. Seeing 444 is a direct communication from your angels and spirit guides, affirming that you are completely surrounded, loved, and protected by the spiritual realm. They are actively working with you, helping to build a solid foundation for your dreams and guarding you against lower vibrational energies. This number often appears during times of stress, anxiety, or when you're feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges. It's a clear signal to stop struggling and to consciously lean into that support system. A practical way to work with this energy is to simply pause, take a deep breath, and verbally or mentally acknowledge the message. You might say, "I see your sign, thank you. I am open to your guidance and I accept this protection." This act of recognition strengthens the connection and allows you to operate from a place of empowered security rather than fear. While 444 offers the comfort of stability, 555 arrives as a blast of cosmic wind, announcing that major, life-altering change is not just coming, it is already underway. The number 5 is the universal symbol of dynamic shift, freedom, and adventure. In its tripled form, it represents a powerful vortex of transformation that is about to touch every area of your life: your career, relationships, home, and personal beliefs. Unlike the gentle nudge of other sequences, 555 is a full-scale alarm clock for your soul, waking you up to the fact that the old structures are crumbling to make way for the new. This can feel incredibly unsettling. You might suddenly feel restless in your job, see relationships shifting, or have a burning desire to move or change your lifestyle. The initial reaction is often resistance and fear, as our ego clings to the familiar, even when it no longer serves our highest good. The spiritual message of 555 is to release that resistance. It is a promise that these changes, however chaotic they may seem, are absolutely necessary for your evolution. They are orchestrated by your soul and your guides to align you with a more authentic and fulfilling path. The key to navigating this energy is not to try and stop the waves, but to learn how to surf them, embrace flexibility, stay open to unexpected opportunities, and trust that what feels like an ending is, in truth, a magnificent beginning in disguise. Of all the sequences we explore in the world of angel numbers, perhaps none carries a heavier cultural baggage than 666. For centuries, this number has been shrouded in fear, superstition, and outright dread, largely due to its infamous designation in the Book of Revelation as the number of the beast, a symbol of ultimate evil and opposition to the divine. This association has been powerfully reinforced by countless horror films, thriller novels, and fire and brimstone sermons, creating a deep-seated instinct to recoil when we see it. But what if this interpretation is a profound misunderstanding of the number's true vibrational essence? What if our fear has caused us to miss a beautiful and urgent message from the universe about balance, harmony, and healing? In the pure language of numerology, 666 is not a curse. It's a compassionate and critical wake-up call from your spirit guides. To understand its true meaning, we must temporarily set aside the cultural narrative and return to the core vibrational energy of the number 6. As we discussed, 6 is the number of unconditional love, nurturing, responsibility, and the harmony of the heart and home. It vibrates with the energy of service, compassion, and creating stable, loving environments. Now, imagine that energy not just present, but tripled and amplified to an intense degree. 666 is this energy turned up to its highest volume. Its appearance is a powerful signal that your life is out of balance, specifically that you are far too focused on the material world at the expense of your spiritual and emotional well-being. The beast it refers to isn't a monstrous external entity. It's the unchecked dominance of earthly concerns, fear, greed, anxiety, and materialism that can beastly control our lives if we let them. This sequence acts as a spiritual mirror, reflecting back to you an over-attachment to the physical realm. Are you consumed by financial worries to the point where it's all you think and talk about? Are you neglecting your family or your own need for rest because you're overworking? Have you become so focused on acquiring things or maintaining a certain social status that you've lost touch with your inner self and your connection to others? 666 appears not to punish you, but to lovingly alert you to this imbalance. It's a call to recenter yourself, to remember that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, not a human being occasionally having a spiritual thought. Your guides are essentially saying, "We see you struggling in the material world, and we are here to help you find your way back to equilibrium." The positive aspect of this message is a profound invitation to heal and restore harmony. It encourages you to consciously redirect your energy from lack and fear to love and service. This could mean taking practical steps to achieve a healthier work-life balance, being more generous with your time and resources, or simply spending a quiet afternoon reconnecting with nature instead of scrolling through social media. It's a prompt to examine your responsibilities. Are they driven by love or by fear and obligation? A woman once shared that she began seeing 666 everywhere during a period where she was working 70-hour weeks, obsessed with getting a promotion. She was short-tempered with her children and had stopped her daily meditation practice. Initially terrified by the number, she eventually researched its numerological meaning and realized it was a direct message about her skewed priorities. She took it as a sign to consciously pull back, delegate tasks at work, and recommit to family dinners and self-care. Within weeks, she felt a sense of peace she hadn't known in years, and interestingly, the promotion she'd been striving for came to her anyway, but without the frantic struggle. This is the true magic of 666. It guides you toward a state where material and spiritual success can coexist in beautiful harmony. Leaving behind the misunderstood energy of 666, we now ascend to two of the most celebrated and eagerly awaited sequences in the entire numerical lexicon, 777 and 888. These are the numbers that many associate with the universe finally opening its treasure chest, signaling a period of immense spiritual and material blessings. But their messages, while both profoundly positive, come from two different dimensions of our existence, one from the realm of spirit and the other from the realm of manifestation. The appearance of 777 is like finding a spiritual green light flashing brilliantly in your path. This sequence is deeply and intrinsically connected to the vibration of good fortune, but not in the way we might traditionally think of luck, like winning a random lottery. This is spiritual luck. It's the divine alignment that occurs when your inner world, your intuition, your faith, your studies syncs up perfectly with the outer universe, creating a flow of synchronicities and opportunities that feel almost magical. The number 7, as we know, is the seeker, the mystic, the philosopher on a quest for deeper truth. When it appears tripled, it signifies that you have done the inner work. You've spent time in meditation. You've followed your intuition. You've sought to understand the larger mysteries of life. And now you are being rewarded with profound insights and a direct download of divine wisdom. Seeing 777 is a powerful confirmation that you are on the absolute right path spiritually. It's a pat on the back from the universe, assuring you that your efforts toward enlightenment are being supported and that you are in a state of intense alignment with your higher self. This often manifests as a sudden clarity about a problem you've been pondering, meeting a teacher or guide at the perfect moment, or stumbling upon a book or piece of information that feels like it was written just for you. It's the universe's way of saying, your faith has been noted, and the veil is thinning. Keep going. This number encourages you to trust those subtle hunches and inner knowings more than ever, as they are your direct line to this elevated state of grace. It's not about what you will get, but about who you are becoming, a more enlightened, intuitive, and divinely connected being. If 777 is the green light for your spirit, then 888 is the grand opening of the universal bank vault for your material reality. This sequence carries the immense, flowing energy of abundance in all its forms: financial prosperity, emotional fulfillment, and infinite opportunities. The number 8, with its beautiful, continuous infinity symbol, represents the unbreakable law of karma and the eternal circulation of energy. It teaches us that abundance is not a finite resource to be hoarded, but a dynamic current that flows to and through us. When you see 888, the universe is announcing that a major cycle of manifestation is coming to fruition. The seeds of effort, intention, and integrity you have planted in the past are now ready to bloom into a harvest of prosperity. This is often a time when long-awaited financial breakthroughs occur. A promotion lands in your lap, a debt is unexpectedly cleared, or a new income stream reveals itself. But 888's promise extends far beyond money. It speaks to an abundance of love, joy, time, and creative ideas. You may find yourself feeling more generous, more open to receiving love, and more confident in your ability to create a life of plenty. The critical message within 888, however, is about mindful management. This immense flow of energy is a responsibility. It's an invitation to consider how you are using your resources, not just for personal gain, but for the greater good. Are you circulating your abundance, or are you blocking its flow by clinging to a scarcity mindset? Seeing this number is a cue to act with integrity, to give generously, and to trust that the more you allow abundance to flow through you, the more the universe will continue to pour into your life. It's the ultimate symbol of being in a harmonious and reciprocal relationship with the cosmos. After exploring the energies of spiritual alignment and material abundance, we arrive at two sequences that bookend the entire cycle of existence: 999 and 000. These numbers speak to the most profound transitions we face, the necessary endings that make way for entirely new beginnings, and the infinite void of potential from which all creation springs. Let's start with 999. If you've been seeing this powerful sequence, it's a clear and compassionate signal that a major chapter of your life is coming to a definitive close. The number 9 itself represents completion, fulfillment, and the wisdom gained at the end of a long journey. When it appears tripled, that energy is amplified into a final, unmissable curtain call. This isn't a gentle suggestion. It's the universe's way of holding up a giant sign that reads, "This phase is over. It is time to let go." This completion can relate to absolutely anything: a job that has run its course, a relationship that has served its purpose, an outdated belief system you've outgrown, or even a way of being that no longer fits who you are becoming. The initial feeling upon recognizing this ending can be one of loss, grief, or anxiety. We are creatures of habit, and even situations that are no longer good for us provide a familiar comfort. But the spiritual message of 999 is one of empowerment, not loss. It is urging you to release your grip on the past with gratitude for the lessons it provided, and with the trust that something far more aligned with your soul's evolution is waiting in the wings. Clinging to what is finished only blocks the new energy from entering. Think of a tree in autumn. It doesn't mourn its falling leaves. It lets them go with the innate knowing that this release is essential for its survival and eventual rebirth in the spring. 999 is your autumn. It's an invitation to consciously participate in this release, to forgive, to thank, and to gracefully let go so you can make space for the new growth that is already stirring beneath the surface. Just as one cycle ends with 999, another begins with the profound and often misunderstood sequence of 000. This number is unique. It doesn't vibrate with the same specific energy as the digits 1 through 9. Instead, it represents the pure, unmanifested potential of the divine source, the cosmic womb from which all of existence emerges. Seeing 000 is a powerful experience of being reset and reconnected to the infinite. It's like being given a blank canvas by the universe, a pristine slate upon which you can paint any reality you choose. The 3 zeros together create a powerful container of pure potential, emphasizing a total return to origin before a new cycle of creation begins. This sequence often appears during moments of profound transition or after a significant ending, perhaps right on the heels of seeing 999. It's a message that you are being wrapped in the energy of the absolute beginning. You are standing at the precipice of infinite possibilities, unburdened by the past, and totally free to choose your next direction. While this can feel daunting, even frightening, due to the sheer scope of the unknown, the spiritual guidance within 000 is one of ultimate support and connection. It is a reminder that you are never separate from the source of all creation. You are not a lonely figure on a blank canvas. You are the canvas itself, and you are the painter, and you are the very hand that guides the brush, all supported by the infinite intelligence of the universe. This number encourages deep meditation and going within, as the answers and the inspiration for what to create next will not come from the external world, but from your reconnected, essential self. It's a call to remember your own divine nature and to begin again from a place of wholeness and limitless potential. All of this rich symbolic meaning provides an incredible framework, a universal dictionary for understanding these numerical messages. But here's the most crucial part of the entire practice. This dictionary is not meant to be used for rigid, one-size-fits-all translations. The true magic of angel numbers doesn't lie in a generic definition you find online. It lives in the deeply personal, intimate conversation happening between you and the universe. Think of the core meanings of 111 or 555 not as a final verdict, but as the foundational theme of a song. The specific melody, the rhythm, the feeling of that song, that's entirely unique to you, composed in real time based on your current life circumstances, your emotional state, and the specific questions you've been holding in your heart. Let's make this practical. Imagine two different people both encountering the sequence 777 on the same day. For the first person, who is a spiritual seeker deeply immersed in studying meditation and metaphysics, this sequence could be a powerful confirmation that they are on the right path, that their insights are divinely inspired, and that a breakthrough in their understanding is imminent. For the second person, who is a scientist skeptical of anything beyond the physical realm, but who has just had a stunning, intuitive flash of inspiration that solved a complex problem in their research, seeing 777 might be a playful, ironic wink from the universe, a way of saying, see, there's more to this reality than your equations. Trust that brilliant hunch. The number's core vibration of spiritual wisdom and good fortune is the same, but its personal application is wildly different because the context of each person's life is different. This is why your emotional and situational context is the most important interpreter of all. Before you even reach for a guidebook or a video to look up a number's meaning, the very first thing you must do is turn inward. Pause for a moment when you see a sequence and ask yourself a few simple but powerful questions. What was I just thinking about? What specific worry or hope was occupying my mind? What major decision am I grappling with? How did seeing this number make me feel in that instant? Did it bring a sense of calm, a jolt of excitement, or a wave of reassurance? Your immediate, gut-level emotional response is often the purest translation of the message you're receiving. The number is a key, but the lock it opens is the current situation of your life. For instance, if you've been anxiously waiting for test results from a doctor and you suddenly see 444, the message is likely a potent and direct reassurance of your angel's protection and presence during this scary time. Its meaning is filtered through your context of health anxiety. Conversely, if you see 444 while you're in the middle of a stressful move, worrying about whether you've made the right choice, the message might be about the angels helping you build a stable and secure foundation in your new home. The core energy of stability and protection is constant, but its application is personalized to your need. This approach transforms angel numbers from a passive, fortune cookie-like prediction into an active, dynamic dialogue. You are not a passenger simply receiving instructions. You are a co-creator, engaging with the signs and applying their wisdom to your unique journey. The universe speaks a symbolic language, and it's your lived experience that provides the definitions. So the next time a number catches your eye, treasure that moment. Take a breath, check in with your heart, and trust that you already possess the deepest wisdom to understand exactly what it means for you, right here, right now. Now that you understand the language and are beginning to recognize these signs, you might be wondering how to move from simply noticing them to truly engaging in a dialogue with the universe. The key to transforming these fleeting moments of wonder into a consistent and deeply personal practice lies in two profoundly simple yet powerful tools: a dedicated synchronicity journal and the focused practice of meditation. Think of these not as chores, but as sacred technologies designed to fine-tune your receiver and amplify the signal, allowing you to decipher these messages with greater clarity and confidence than ever before. Keeping a synchronicity journal is arguably the single most effective step you can take. This isn't just a diary. It's a dedicated logbook for your soul's conversation with the cosmos. The act of physically writing down your encounters does something remarkable. It signals to your subconscious and to your spirit guides that you are not only paying attention, but that you are actively, reverently listening. This intention itself acts as a powerful beacon, inviting even more frequent and clear communication. Start by choosing a notebook that feels special to you, something that you enjoy holding and writing in. Then, each time a number sequence grabs your attention, make a quick entry. Don't just jot down the number and the time. The real magic is in capturing the context. Note exactly what you were thinking about or feeling in that precise moment. Were you worrying about a bill, daydreaming about a new love, or feeling stuck in your career? What was happening around you? Were you in your car, at your desk, or scrolling on your phone? This rich, contextual detail is the crucial missing piece that generic online interpretations can never provide. It allows you to look for patterns over time. You might notice that every time you see a certain sequence, it's preceded by a specific type of anxiety or a particular kind of hopeful thought. This journal becomes your personal, encrypted codebook, revealing how the universe specifically speaks to you. While the journal is your record of the external dialogue, meditation is the practice that turns your attention inward to receive the answers. It's the quiet space where you can move beyond intellectual guesswork and tap into your own innate intuitive wisdom. After logging a number in your journal, set aside a few quiet moments to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and gently bring that number to mind. Don't strain or force an interpretation. Instead, visualize the numbers in your mind's eye, see them written in light, or simply hold the feeling of them in your awareness. Then, from a place of calm curiosity, ask simple, open-ended questions. What are you trying to show me? Or, how does this message apply to my life right now? Then, and this is the most important part, you simply listen. Pay attention to the very first thought, feeling, image, or memory that bubbles up from the silence. This initial, unedited impression is often the purest form of your intuition speaking, your personal translator for the divine. You might get a sudden knowing, a wave of emotion, or a seemingly random memory that, upon reflection, makes perfect sense. This practice deepens the connection because you are actively participating in the interpretation, making it a co-created understanding rather than a passive reception of information. By combining these two tools, you create a powerful feedback loop that continuously sharpens your intuitive abilities. The journal provides the external data and patterns, while meditation provides the internal insight and clarity. Together, they empower you to become the ultimate authority on what these signs mean for your unique journey. This isn't about outsourcing your wisdom to a website. It's about cultivating a direct, personal, and utterly transformative line of communication with the guidance that is already surrounding you. With all this talk of meaningful signs and cosmic dialogues, a perfectly reasonable question arises. How can I be sure it's not just my mind playing tricks on me? How do we differentiate a genuine, heart-stopping moment of synchronicity from a simple, meaningless coincidence? This is the crucial bridge between curiosity and conviction, and it hinges on three unmistakable markers: emotional resonance, impeccable timing, and undeniable repetition. The first and most important filter is that immediate, intuitive feeling that accompanies a true angel number sighting. A random number on a license plate is just data. It registers neutrally and is instantly forgotten. A synchronistic number, however, arrives with a palpable emotional charge. It's that jolt of energy, that sudden intake of breath, that warm wave of comfort, or that eerie feeling of being seen. This isn't an intellectual process. It's a visceral, gut-level reaction. Your body often knows the truth before your brain has time to analyze it. It's the difference between idly glancing at a clock that reads 12:34 and feeling absolutely nothing versus looking up at exactly 11:11 and experiencing a profound sense of awe and significance that stops you in your tracks. That emotional resonance is your spirit's way of recognizing a message meant specifically for you. It's the universe not just sending a letter, but delivering it with a certain vibrational signature that your soul is primed to receive. The second defining characteristic is the uncanny, almost mischievous timing of the appearance. A true synchronicity doesn't happen in a vacuum. It lands with pinpoint accuracy in the center of your current life circumstances. It answers a question you just asked, comments on a fear you just felt, or affirms a hope you just nurtured. Imagine you're lying in bed, anxiously turning over a difficult career decision in your mind, wrestling with self-doubt. The next morning, on your way to work, you get stuck behind a truck with a license plate that reads 555, the universal signal for major positive change. That's not a coincidence. That's a direct response. The number didn't just appear. It appeared at the exact moment you needed that specific message of encouragement to release fear and embrace transformation. The timing is so perfect, so personally relevant, that it feels curated. It's this contextual relevance that elevates a pattern from being mathematically interesting to spiritually significant. Finally, we have the element of repetition, which acts as the universe's way of underlining its most important memos. Anyone can see a single number sequence once and wonder about it. But when that same specific pattern, whether it's 111 or 727, shows up again and again across different, unrelated mediums in a short period of time, the odds of it being random chance plummet dramatically. It's the difference between finding a single four-leaf clover and suddenly finding them everywhere you look. You might see 2:22 on the clock. Then later that day, your lunch bill comes to $22.22. And then you turn on the television and a character says, "Room 222." This kind of persistent repetition is a hallmark of true synchronicity. It's the spiritual realm turning up the volume, ensuring its message cuts through the noise of your daily life until you finally stop and pay attention. It's the universe saying, "Yes, this is for you. Please stop ignoring it." Understanding this distinction liberates you from doubt and allows you to engage with these signs with confidence. You are not being superstitious or engaging in wishful thinking when a number sequence carries that electric feeling, arrives with perfect poetic timing, and repeats itself insistently. You are participating in an intelligent, interactive language of guidance. This discernment is what transforms a passive observer into an active partner in a beautiful, ongoing conversation with the cosmos. While our exploration has focused primarily on Western numerology and its spiritual offshoots, the fascinating truth is that the human impulse to find sacred meaning in numbers is a universal language spoken in countless dialects across the globe. Every culture, from the ancient to the modern, has developed its own unique numerical lexicon, reflecting its values, fears, and spiritual beliefs. By stepping outside our own framework, we discover that the phenomenon of angel numbers is part of a much grander, global tapestry of numerical symbolism, where the same digits can carry wildly different meanings, yet often point towards similar universal human desires for protection, prosperity, and connection. Consider the powerful symbolism of the number 8. In Western angel numbers, 8 is the vibration of abundance and karma, a sign of infinite flow. But travel to China and other parts of East Asia, and the number 8 is not just lucky, it is arguably the most auspicious number in the entire culture. This reverence is rooted in linguistics. The word for 8 in Mandarin, ba, sounds very similar to the word for prosper or wealth, fa. This homophone has elevated the number to a status of immense desirability. It's why the 2008 Beijing Olympics opened at 8:08 p.m. on the 8th day of the 8th month. Phone numbers, license plates, and apartment numbers containing multiple eights command premium prices, as they are believed to attract boundless fortune and success. This cultural interpretation shares a theme of abundance with the Western view, but arrives there through a completely different path, one of auditory symbolism rather than vibrational energy, showing how culture shapes our numerical dialogue with the divine. In stark contrast, the number 4 tells a story of how fear can also be encoded into numbers. In many East Asian cultures, including China, Japan, and Korea, the number 4 is considered extremely unlucky, even ominous. This is because the word for four in these languages sounds nearly identical to the word for death. This association is so strong that you will often find buildings without a fourth floor, hospitals without a room number 4, and gifts avoided in sets of 4. This tetraphobia presents a fascinating counterpoint to the Western angel number 444, which is a powerful reassurance of angelic protection and stability. The same digit, the same repetition, is interpreted through a completely different cultural lens, one of avoidance rather than invitation, highlighting that the meaning we assign to numbers is deeply woven into the fabric of language and collective belief. Indigenous cultures around the world offer yet another profound perspective, one that often sees numbers not as isolated symbols, but as integral parts of a living, interconnected cosmos. For many Native American traditions, numbers are frequently tied to the natural world and its cycles. The number 4 is sacred, representing the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, west, the 4 seasons, and the 4 elements. This creates a framework of stability, balance, and wholeness, much like the sacred geometry found in many creation stories. The number 7 might be honored as the 7 sacred directions, which include the 4 cardinal directions plus up, down, and the center where one stands. Here, numbers are a map of relationship and place, teaching humans about their role within a vast, ordered, and spiritual ecosystem. This contrasts with a more personal, message-based interpretation of angel numbers, instead grounding numerical meaning in communal wisdom and the sacred patterns of the natural world. Even within Abrahamic faiths, we find rich numerical symbolism that predates the modern concept of angel numbers. In Jewish mysticism, or Kabbalah, the practice of gematria assigns numerical values to Hebrew letters, allowing scholars to find hidden connections and deeper meanings between words and phrases that share the same sum. For instance, the word for life in Hebrew, chai, has a numerical value of 18, making that number Chinese letter auspicious. In Islam, the number 99 is revered as the number of names or attributes of Allah, and the number 5 is central to the 5 pillars that form the foundation of Muslim life. These are not random sequences, but are deeply embedded in theological structure, representing divine completeness and the pillars of faith. Exploring these diverse traditions does not diminish the personal validity of your experience with angel numbers. Instead, it enriches it. It reveals a beautiful truth. Humanity has always looked to the apparent randomness of the universe and sought an underlying order, a hidden language. Whether that language is spoken through the vibrational frequency of 3, the auditory luck of 8, or the sacred directions of 4, the common thread is our innate desire to connect with something greater than ourselves. We are pattern-seeking beings reaching for the divine, and numbers have consistently provided a reliable bridge. This global perspective invites us to hold our own interpretations a little more lightly, to appreciate the stunning diversity of spiritual expression, and to understand that the universe communicates with us all, using the cultural and personal dialects our hearts are primed to understand. Of course, a healthy dose of skepticism is not only wise but necessary when navigating any spiritual practice, including the interpretation of angel numbers. From a purely scientific standpoint, psychologists have identified several perfectly natural cognitive processes that could explain why we notice these repeating sequences so often. The most prominent of these is a pair of mental shortcuts known as apophenia and confirmation bias. Apophenia is the innate human tendency to perceive meaningful patterns or connections within random or meaningless data. It's why we see faces in the clouds or animals in the shapes of clouds. Our brains are incredible pattern recognition machines, a trait that helped our ancestors spot predators in the jungle, but can sometimes lead us to find significance where none objectively exists. When applied to numbers, apophenia is the engine that initially draws our eye to a license plate with 3 identical digits standing out in a sea of random letters and numbers. Once that initial pattern is spotted, confirmation bias leaps into action. This is our subconscious tendency to search for, interpret, and recall information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses. If you've recently learned that 111 is a sign of manifestation, your brain becomes primed to notice it everywhere. You'll vividly remember the 3 times you saw it this week, but completely forget the thousands of other times you glanced at a clock or a receipt and saw a mundane, non-repeating sequence. You actively seek out evidence that supports the belief while unconsciously filtering out all the data that doesn't fit. This isn't a character flaw. It's a universal feature of how the human mind operates, a way to reduce the overwhelming complexity of the world into a simpler, more coherent narrative. A skeptic would argue, quite logically, that this is the beginning and end of the story. They would say that angel numbers are a fascinating psychological phenomenon, but nothing more, a beautiful illusion crafted by our own brains. And on one level, they are absolutely right. These biases are real, and they do play a significant role in the experience. But here's where the story deepens, and where a purely materialistic view might fall short. For countless individuals, the experience of synchronicity transcends a simple misfiring of neural circuitry. The emotional resonance, the impeccable timing, and the sheer volume of repetition often feel too precise, too personally meaningful, to be dismissed entirely as chance. The most empowering perspective isn't to choose one explanation over the other, but to hold both in your mind at once. We can fully acknowledge the role of apophenia and confirmation bias, while also remaining open to the possibility that the universe might be using those very psychological mechanisms as a delivery system for guidance. Think of it this way. If a divine intelligence wanted to communicate with a human being, it would have to use a language the human mind can understand. It would have to speak through the existing structures of our perception. Our pattern-seeking brain isn't an obstacle to spiritual experience. It might very well be the antenna designed to receive it. The initial glance might be triggered by apophenia, but the profound, life-changing insight that often follows, the sudden clarity, the wave of comfort, the inspired action carries a weight that feels like it originates from somewhere beyond the self. This is the beautiful middle path, where science and spirituality don't have to be at war. We can say, yes, my brain is wired to see patterns, and that's likely why this number caught my eye. And in the very next breath, we can ask, and what if the universe, knowing how my brain works, placed that specific pattern in my path at this exact moment because it has a message for me? This approach invites a sense of curiosity and personal inquiry rather than blind faith or rigid skepticism. It allows you to engage with the phenomenon playfully, testing it out in your own life. Does simply noticing a number change anything? Or is it the conscious intention you set after seeing it, the shift in your mindset, the action you take that truly creates the change? The power may not be in the number itself, but in the meaning you assign to it, and the way that meaning empowers you to move through your life with more awareness, hope, and purpose. One of the most compelling aspects of this phenomenon is how these abstract numbers translate into tangible, life-altering guidance for people from all walks of life. Their stories provide a powerful testament to how this spiritual language operates not in theory, but in the messy, beautiful reality of our daily existence. Consider the experience of Sarah, a teacher who had just gone through a painful divorce. For weeks, she felt lost and utterly alone, questioning whether she would ever find love or happiness again. During her lowest moment, while crying on her kitchen floor, she looked up and her gaze fell on the digital clock on her stove. It read 2:22. The number seemed to glow. Intrigued, she looked up its meaning and discovered it was a sign of harmony, balance, and faith in divine timing. Though she was skeptical, the message offered a sliver of hope. She began to notice 2:22 everywhere, on license plates, in phone numbers, even as the total on a coffee receipt. Each sighting felt like a gentle, persistent nudge from the universe to keep going, to have faith. She decided to heed its message, focusing on rebuilding her own sense of self-worth instead of her fear of being alone. Just a few months later, she reconnected with an old friend, and that connection blossomed into a deeply supportive and loving relationship built on a foundation she had solidly built herself. For Sarah, 2:22 wasn't a magic spell. It was a lifeline that pulled her out of despair and guided her toward a patience and self-love she didn't know she possessed. Then there's the story of Mark, an aspiring entrepreneur who had poured all of his savings into starting a small tech company. After a year of grueling work, he faced a make-or-break moment, a critical meeting with a potential investor. The night before, he was paralyzed with anxiety, convinced he was going to fail and lose everything. As he paced his apartment, he stopped to check the time on his phone, 11:11. He'd seen it before, but never with such intensity. He remembered that 11:11 is often called the wake-up call number, a sign to pay attention to your thoughts as they are manifesting rapidly. Instead of letting his fear spiral, he made a conscious choice to pivot his thinking. He spent the hour before his meeting visualizing a successful outcome, focusing on feelings of confidence and capability rather than dread. He walked into that meeting with a completely different energy, and to his astonishment, he not only secured the investment, but also gained a mentor who believed deeply in his vision. For Mark, 11:11 acted as a crucial mirror, reflecting back the power of his own mindset and giving him the awareness to shift it at the most pivotal moment, ultimately altering the entire trajectory of his career. Perhaps one of the most profound testimonies comes from a woman named Lena, who began seeing the sequence 999 during a period of intense personal stagnation. She felt trapped in a job she hated, in a city that no longer felt like home, but the fear of making a change was overwhelming. 999, the number of completion and endings, started appearing with an almost eerie frequency. It was on the page numbers of a book she was reading, the address of a building she walked past every day, and even the last 3 digits of her random phone number that called her. She initially resisted its message, clinging to the familiarity of her unhappy situation, but the numbers persisted, eventually becoming impossible to ignore. She interpreted it as a divine ultimatum. It was time to let go. Trusting the sign, she made the terrifying decision to quit her job, sell her apartment, and move across the country to a place she had always felt drawn to. The transition was challenging, but within a year of her move, she had found a new career path that fulfilled her creatively and built a community of like-minded friends. The number 999 didn't make the change easy, but it gave her the courage to initiate a necessary ending, creating space for a new beginning that was more aligned with her soul's purpose. Her story illustrates that these numbers often don't bring the change itself, but rather the clarity and conviction we need to make the brave choices that will. Think of angel numbers not as a standalone practice, but as a powerful spiritual amplifier, a universal language that can beautifully harmonize with other metaphysical tools to create a deeply resonant and personalized symphony of guidance. When you weave the specific messages from number sequences together with the archetypal wisdom of tarot, the cosmic map of astrology, or the vibrational healing of crystals, you move from receiving a single note of insight to conducting an entire orchestra of divine communication. This integrated approach allows you to cross-reference messages, deepen your interpretations, and create potent rituals that address your life from multiple supportive angles. Let's begin with the magical synergy between angel numbers and tarot. Both systems are rich with symbolism and act as mirrors to our subconscious, making them perfect partners for a powerful divination session. Imagine you've been seeing the number 555 everywhere, signaling that major change is afoot. You could pull a single tarot card to add layers of clarity to this message. If you were to draw the Tower, it would powerfully confirm that this change, while potentially sudden and disruptive, is a necessary destruction of an outdated structure in your life. Conversely, if you drew the Death card, it would emphasize the theme of transformation and graceful release, while the Chariot would encourage you to take control and steer through this period of change with determination. You can also reverse this process. After a tarot reading that leaves you with a pressing question, you might ask your guides for a numerical sign to confirm the message or provide next steps. Then, throughout your day, you stay alert for that sequence, using it as a living, interactive confirmation of the card's wisdom. The cosmic dance between angel numbers and astrology offers another profound layer of insight. Your natal chart is a static map of your soul's potential, while angel numbers are the dynamic, real-time traffic reports guiding you along that map. For instance, if you're in a period where the planet Saturn, the taskmaster of karma and discipline, is heavily influencing your chart, you might be experiencing lessons around responsibility and hard work. During this time, seeing the number 444 would be an incredibly potent sign. It would be your angels affirming that this difficult Saturnian work is building a stable foundation for your future, and that you are fully supported through the process. You can also align your intention setting with both lunar cycles and numerical guidance. During the potent energy of a new moon, a time for planting seeds, you might write down your intention on a piece of paper. If your goal is centered on abundance, you could circle it 8 times, invoking the energy of 888, and place a citrine crystal on top of it. This ritual combines the manifesting power of the moon, the vibrational frequency of the number, and the amplifying property of the crystal into a single, focused act of creation. Speaking of crystals, their innate vibrational frequencies make them ideal physical anchors for the energy of angel numbers. Each crystal holds a specific therapeutic property, and you can intentionally pair them with the numbers you're working with to magnify your desired outcome. If you're seeking comfort and protection amidst turmoil and consistently see 444, carrying or meditating with a piece of black tourmaline or smoky quartz can physically ground that angelic reassurance into your energy field. For those encountering 111, the number of conscious creation, holding a clear quartz point, a master amplifier of intention, can help you laser focus your thoughts on what you truly want to manifest. A simple yet powerful ritual involves creating a crystal grid. If you're working with the loving, nurturing energy of 666 to heal a relationship, you could place 6 rose quartz stones, the crystal of unconditional love, in a circle. In the center, you might place a piece of paper with the person's name or your own for self-love written on it 6 times. As you arrange the stones, you focus on the vibration of harmony and compassion, using the physical act and the numerical pattern to powerfully project that energy outward. The ultimate goal of combining these practices is to build a holistic spiritual toolkit that is uniquely yours, You are the artist, and these modalities are your paints. Perhaps you check your daily astrological transit. Notice Mercury is retrograde, prompting careful communication, and then see 222, a number of patience and partnership, on a colleague's desk. This layered message becomes a clear directive to practice diplomacy and trust in harmonious resolutions during all your interactions that day. By learning the core languages of these different systems, you become fluent in translating the nuanced dialect of the divine, receiving multi-dimensional guidance that speaks directly to the complex and beautiful journey of your life. While this conversation with the universe is meant to be a source of comfort and guidance, there are absolutely times when the volume can feel like it's turned up a little too high. If you've ever found yourself anxiously checking the clock, scanning every license plate, or feeling a knot in your stomach when you miss a potential sign, you are not alone. This is a completely normal experience, especially when you're first opening up to this practice or when you're navigating a particularly turbulent chapter in your life. The initial wonder of noticing these patterns can sometimes tip over into a kind of spiritual performance anxiety, where you feel pressured to decode every single message perfectly, as if your entire fate depends on it. This is the exact opposite of what angel numbers are for. Their purpose is to empower and reassure, not to overwhelm and frighten. So if you're feeling bombarded, it's a clear signal that it's time to step back and implement some gentle, compassionate boundaries with the practice itself. The first and most important step is to consciously reconnect with the physical world around you. When your mind is spinning in cycles of interpretation and anticipation, it has left the present moment. The most effective remedy is to firmly ground yourself back into your body and your immediate environment. This can be as simple as pausing wherever you are and engaging your 5 senses with intention. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can physically feel, like the texture of your shirt or the solid floor beneath your feet, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This isn't just a distraction technique. It's a powerful neurological shift that pulls your awareness out of the abstract realm of signs and symbols and anchors it firmly in the here and now. Another profoundly effective method is through physical movement. A brisk walk outside where you feel the sun or wind on your skin, some gentle stretching, or even a few minutes of dancing to your favorite song can shake loose that anxious energy and remind you that you are a human being having a spiritual experience, not the other way around. It's also perfectly okay, and actually highly recommended, to give yourself explicit permission to take a break from looking for signs. You are always allowed to tell the universe, gently and respectfully, "Thank you, I've received the message. I am going to focus on integrating this now." Think of it like a loving parent who keeps offering advice. Sometimes you just need to say, "I hear you, and I need to figure this next part out on my own for a little while." Setting this boundary liberates you from the exhausting feeling of being on constant alert. You can decide that for the next few hours, or even the next few days, you are off sign duty. You are not ignoring the guidance. You are trusting that if a message is truly urgent and vital, it will find a way to break through your intentional pause in an undeniable way. This puts you back in the driver's seat, transforming the practice from something that happens to you into something you consciously choose to engage with. Finally, always return to the foundational intention behind all spiritual guidance: unconditional support. The angels, the universe, your higher self, whatever you choose to call that benevolent source of messages, its core nature is one of love and encouragement. It does not operate on a system of punishment, tests, or trick questions. You cannot fail at seeing or interpreting angel numbers. If you miss a sign or misunderstand a message, another one will always come along. The guidance is persistent, patient, and infinitely compassionate. The next time you feel that flutter of anxiety, take a deep breath and ask yourself a simple but powerful question. Does this feeling come from love or from fear? True divine guidance will always, without exception, leave you feeling empowered, hopeful, and subtly reassured, even if the message itself is about a challenging change. If your interpretation of a number is filling you with dread, pressure, or confusion, that is almost certainly your own human anxiety layering onto the message, not the message itself. Gently wipe the slate clean. Return to the core vibrational meaning of the number from a place of calm, and trust that the only correct interpretation is the one that brings you a greater sense of peace. Ultimately, the true purpose of this beautiful language of numbers is not to create a new set of rules to follow, but to offer a framework for deeper self-awareness and conscious choice. Angel numbers are meant to be a source of empowerment, not a system of predestination or control. Their ethical application, both for yourself and in conversations with others, hinges on one core principle. They should always illuminate the path of free will, never attempt to pave it for you. Imagine receiving a message like 555, signaling major change. An empowering interpretation focuses on your agency. You are being supported through a period of transformation. What courageous step can you take to align with this energy? A disempowering, fear-based interpretation would sound like a command or a warning. A huge change is coming that you cannot stop, so just get ready for it. The first perspective places you in the driver's seat, with spiritual guidance as your supportive co-pilot. The second makes you a passive passenger on a ride you cannot control, which can easily trigger anxiety and a sense of powerlessness. This distinction becomes profoundly important when we feel called to share our experiences with others. It can be incredibly tempting when we see a friend struggling to immediately say, "Oh, you keep seeing 444. That means the angels are protecting you." While our intention is to comfort, this can sometimes feel dismissive of their very real human emotions or, worse, impose a spiritual framework onto someone who may not resonate with it at all. A more respectful and ethical approach involves curiosity and invitation rather than declaration. You might instead say, "I find it interesting that you're noticing that number." In some spiritual practices, people interpret that sequence as a sign of support. Does that idea feel comforting or meaningful to you in any way? This opens a door for them to explore on their own terms, without insisting that your interpretation is an absolute truth they must accept. It honors their beliefs, their pace, and their unique journey, which is the ultimate expression of respect. The bedrock of this entire practice is the understanding that you are the ultimate authority on your own life. An angel number might suggest a theme of abundance with 888, but it is not a guarantee of a lottery win. It might highlight a need for balance with 222, but it cannot force a difficult relationship to heal. The real magic doesn't lie in the number itself, but in the intentional actions, shifted perspectives, and courageous choices that the number inspires within you. This guidance is designed to work with the beautiful complexity of your free will, not override it. It offers possibilities, not inevitabilities. It provides a nudge toward your highest potential, but you must still choose to walk in that direction. When we use these signs to empower our own choices and respectfully support others in discovering their own, we engage with this cosmic language in its purest and most ethical form, as a tool for conscious co-creation, reminding us that we are both the student and the author of our soul's journey. So, how can you begin to actively participate in this conversation and notice these signs with more consistency and clarity? The beautiful part is that you don't need any special tools or psychic abilities. It all begins with a simple shift in your awareness and a few intentional practices. Think of it like tuning a radio. You're not creating the signal. You're just adjusting your receiver to pick up the station that's been broadcasting all along. The first and most powerful step is to set a clear and heartfelt intention. This isn't about demanding signs or making a shopping list for the universe. It's about opening a door. You can do this silently in your mind or speak it aloud in a quiet moment. Try saying something like, "Universe, my guides, I am open and ready to receive your guidance. Please show me the signs and numbers I need to see for my highest good, and help me understand their meaning in a way that is clear and gentle for me." By stating this intention, you are essentially raising your hand in the cosmic classroom, signaling your willingness to engage. This single act of conscious invitation dramatically increases the likelihood that you'll start noticing patterns, simply because you've told your subconscious mind what to look for. Once your intention is set, the next crucial piece is cultivating a state of mindful presence throughout your day. Our modern lives are a whirlwind of distractions. We're scrolling through our phones, planning our next task, or replaying past conversations, all while completely missing the rich tapestry of the present moment. Synchronicity lives in the now. It's in the brief pause between activities, the moment you look up from your screen, the second you truly notice your surroundings. To catch these fleeting signs, you have to slow down just enough to become an observer of your own life. This doesn't require hours of meditation, though that certainly helps. It can be as simple as making a pact with yourself to put your phone away while walking from your car to the grocery store, consciously noticing the details around you, the sounds, the smells, the people you pass. It's in these small gaps of undistracted awareness that a license plate with a repeating sequence or a receipt with a meaningful total will suddenly snap into focus. The sign was always there. Your mindful presence is what allows you to see it. For many beginners, a little technological assistance can provide a helpful nudge in developing this new habit. There are several well-designed apps available that can gently alert you when master numbers like 1111 or 2222 appear on the clock. You can set them to send you a peaceful chime or a soft notification at those times. This isn't about letting an app do the work for you. It's about using it as a training tool. Each time that gentle alert goes off, it pulls you out of your autopilot routine and into the present moment. It's a reminder to take a single deep breath, to check in with what you were just thinking or feeling, and to acknowledge the potential significance of that time. After a while, as your own innate awareness sharpens, you may find you no longer need the app because your internal antenna has become finely tuned to notice these patterns on its own. Perhaps the most transformative practice of all is keeping a dedicated synchronicity journal. This goes beyond merely noticing a sign. It's about engaging in a dialogue with it. Get a notebook that feels special to you. Then, whenever a number sequence or any other meaningful coincidence grabs your attention, take a moment to jot down a few key details. Don't just write, "saw 111." Record the date, the time, the exact circumstances, and most importantly, what was happening in your inner world. What were you worrying about? What question were you pondering? What emotion were you feeling just before you saw it? Over days and weeks, you will begin to see your own personal code emerge from these pages. You might discover that every time you see a certain number, it's preceded by a specific type of anxiety, or that another sequence consistently appears when you are feeling particularly hopeful. This journal becomes your personal roadmap, revealing how the divine specifically communicates with you, turning abstract concepts into a living, breathing language of guidance tailored exclusively for your journey. As we come to the close of our journey through the world of angel numbers and divine synchronicity, I invite you to carry forward a few foundational truths. This isn't about memorizing a rigid dictionary of meanings or anxiously scanning your environment for signs. At its heart, this practice is an invitation into a more conscious, connected, and wondrous way of moving through your life. You have learned that these numerical sequences are far more than random digits. They are a timeless, universal language of guidance, a gentle tap on the shoulder from a benevolent universe that is deeply invested in your growth and well-being. This language transcends cultures and beliefs, offering a personalized pathway to deeper self-awareness and a reassuring sense that you are never, ever walking your path alone. The most profound shift occurs when you move from a place of seeking external validation to cultivating an internal sense of knowing. The true power of an angel number isn't in the number itself, but in the pause it creates, the moment you stop, breathe, and turn inward to ask what this sign means for you, right here, right now. It's in that quiet space of reflection that the real magic happens. This practice empowers you to become the ultimate interpreter of your own spiritual journey, trusting your intuition to weave together the universal symbolism with the intimate details of your personal experience. When you see a sequence that resonates, let it fill you with a sense of curiosity and possibility, not pressure or dogma. Allow these signs to be starting points for deeper inquiry, encouraging you to reflect on your thoughts, align with your intentions, and take inspired action from a place of empowered choice. I would love for this to be the beginning of a beautiful conversation. The comment section below is a wonderful space to become part of a community of curious seekers. If you've had a memorable experience with a specific number sequence, whether it filled you with comfort, gave you the courage to make a change, or simply left you in a state of awe, please share your story. Your personal testimony could be the very sign someone else needs to hear today, offering them the reassurance or clarity they've been searching for. By sharing our experiences, we weave a collective tapestry of support and wonder, reminding each other that we are all participating in this magnificent, mysterious dance of synchronicity. If this exploration has sparked a deeper interest in understanding the symbolic language of the universe, I warmly invite you to join our community here. Subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell because we have so many more journeys ahead. We'll be delving into other fascinating aspects of spiritual awakening, from decoding your dreams and understanding astrological transits to exploring the healing power of crystals and energy work. This is just one pathway of many, and I am truly honored to be your guide. Thank you for gifting me your time and your open-minded curiosity. May your days be filled with moments of breathtaking synchronicity, and may you always remember that the universe is constantly whispering its support, just waiting for you to lean